Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another Thoughts at Three. Oh, it's that side there. Look. Thoughts at Three from Southampton City Mission Schools team. We are coming to you live from Southampton today on the Thursday, the 14th of May, 2020. For those of you who have never seen me before, my name is Matt, and I am part of the schools team at Southampton City Mission. Normally, we would be in schools doing assemblies, question of faith days, prayer spaces, and so on. But because of the current crisis, obviously, we are not allowed to do that. And so we have been broadcasting these live assemblies every day for almost 6 weeks now. And this is the latest one. We call them Thoughts at Three because it's at 3 o'clock and we share some thoughts. And we'd really love to know your thoughts as well. So if you are watching live on YouTube or on Facebook, then please do comment in the video comments down below or over to the left or the right or up there, wherever they are. Just put your name in the comments, first name, whatever school you know us from. If you don't know us from the school, if you're a member of the team, please say hello. If you're just a random citizen, please say hello. If this is your first time watching us, we would really love to hear from you too. So please do comment and let us know that you are watching. And if you have any questions about today's topic, which is telling others, then please do pop those into the comments too. It would be really great to have your questions. Ellie and I are going to answer some questions a little bit later on. But before we do that, I'm going to introduce the topic. If you haven't yet liked our Facebook page, please do like us. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube, please subscribe. And if you'd like to follow us on Instagram, then you can do that. We are at SCM Schools on Instagram. And we would really love to build our audience too. So one way that you can tell others today, practice telling others, is by sharing this video or by sharing our YouTube channel. Share it with someone you know, just send them a private message, share it on your page, like it, whatever. We don't mind, but we would love to build our audience. And yeah, so please do that. That would be great. As I mentioned, our topic today is telling others, and we'll get on to what that means for a Christian in a moment. But I thought I'd introduce the topic of telling others by, first of all, saying thank you to all of you who wished me a happy birthday yesterday. I did not watch the assembly yesterday because I was taking a day off. My boss, Duncan, likes to make sure that I actually take a day off when I'm supposed to be taking a day off. And so I did nothing work-related yesterday, which was lots of fun. We had a great day. I ate cake. I played Pass the Parcel. I was doing some art and watched my favorite TV program, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and did loads of cool stuff. But I did not watch the assembly. Ellie says, though, that you wish me happy birthday. So thank you so much for that. I got lots of cards, and I wanted to show you some of the cards behind me here on the mantelpiece. You can see this one here in the middle. This one, have a marvelous birthday with Spider-Man, Iron Man, and Captain America there, was made by Ellie herself. Those fantastic drawings. So she sent me that from her and Jordan, whose birthday was on Tuesday. Jordan's birthday was on Tuesday. So I thought that was a really cool card. And then I had these two for my children. So Maggie made me this one, Happy Birthday. She's got some Marvel characters, some DC characters there, and Elsa in the middle, which I thought was quite nice. And then I had this fantastic card here from my son Charlie. He drew freehand that picture of Captain Marvel. He's only 8 years old. I thought it was a brilliant picture of Captain Marvel, and her sign. He says, Happy Birthday, Daddy-O, which is what he sometimes calls me. And yeah, then this one from some friends just down the road there, from Tony and Ruth and Epi and Eli and Bo and Jubilee. Today we celebrate all things Matt, which was quite nice. I really like that one. And then we had this one as well from my sister-in-law and her husband and their kids, Hannah and Josh, which was all about cake. Inside there was a little sort of special QR code which you could scan, and that went to a special video that they had made a song. They played the song, written the lyrics about just saying happy birthday to me, telling me how much I love cake and also that I love Jesus. It's well worth a watch. It's a very, although if you do, I'd warn you, it's got quite a catchy tune, and so it will stick in your brain for a while. Maggie was singing it to me all afternoon yesterday, And apparently Vicky and Loz's kids have been singing it to them for about 2 weeks. But what is the point of all that? Well, these guys and hundreds of people who said happy birthday to me on email, on Facebook, on text message, on Instagram and others, they all wanted to tell me something. They wanted to tell me happy birthday. Maybe it's because they like me. Maybe it's because they're my friends or my family. Maybe they wanted me to feel something on a day that was special to me, the day that I was born. But if they hadn't said anything, if nobody had communicated with me, then I wouldn't have known about all of that love coming towards me, about all the ways that people appreciate me and find me funny or find me, helpful, whatever it is. If they hadn't told me, I wouldn't know any of those things. And so this idea of telling others is super important. We are telling people, other people, things all the time, actually, through the way we act, the way we speak, and how we think. This is why I end a lot of my prayers by saying, help us with the things we think, the things we do, and the things that we say. Actually, there is so much power in words. We know that when we say something kind to people, it can make them feel good, it can make them feel happy. But when we say something mean to somebody, it can make them feel really sad. And so there is a power in our words. And actually, actions speak 1,000 words. Just doing something little for somebody can completely change their day, completely change even their life sometimes, just by the way that we act and speak towards others. And Jesus knew this, which is why he said to his disciples, go into all of the world and tell people about me. Share my message of love, share my message of grace, of forgiveness, of compassion for people from God, so that everybody, no matter whether they are old or young, whether they are they've got big ginger bushy hair or they've got no hair at all, whether they're male or female, whether they've got yellow skin or black skin or green skin, whatever it is, that everybody would know just how much they're loved by God. And so that's for Christians why we tell others. And actually, I think whether you're a Christian or not, it's important to tell others what's going on inside of you, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what you're wondering about, what is going on inside of you. Because if you don't, people would never know. That's why we encourage people to ask questions, because we want them to tell us what it is they're wanting to know, what it is they're thinking about, so that even if we can't answer the questions, at least it's out there and it's being thought about. It's not trapped in their head somewhere, festering away. So we are going to answer some of those questions now about the different things that we believe. But before I say that, before we get onto that, before I invite Ellie in, one of the things that I say in schools when we go in, is regardless what you believe, regardless what faith you are, what background you've been brought up in, whatever it is, actually what you believe is really important. Because actually what you believe about yourself, everyone look at yourself. What you believe about those around you, everyone look at those around you. And what you believe about the world at large, everyone look at the world at large. What you believe about those three things determines the sort of person that you will become. And actually, the things that we believe about those three things, ourselves, others, and the world around us, spills out of us in the things that we say and the things that we do. And so when we're telling others things, they are all based on our beliefs. And if we're believing things that are negative or not correct, then they can impact what it is that we say to others, how it is we act towards others. So it's super important to think about what we believe as well as what we say and what we do. Anyway, we're going to try and answer some questions now. I'm just going to have a little look here on the stream to see who is chatting to us. So I can see my friend Tom. Hello, Tom. It's great to see you. Tom is a teacher out in the New Forest somewhere. Tom, I really hope that you're using our assemblies with some of your kids. And as I think I've mentioned, we've got some home learning question of faith packs, which they can engage with if you would like them to. Becky, one of our team leaders, is saying hello, and Jordan and Teresa too. Also, I should share Teresa's card. So she gave me this fantastic card. Again, a superhero theme. I guess you're getting the sense that I like Marvel characters. That one was from Teresa. Thank you so much, Teresa. So please do let us have your questions. That's not going to stand up now. I'll chuck it down there. I'll put it back up later. Please do let us have your questions about beliefs, but we're going to try and answer some of them now. So I'm going to invite Ellie in to join us. Good afternoon, Ellie.
Good afternoon, and a happy birthday again for yesterday.
Thank you so much, and happy birthday to Jordan again for Tuesday. We can keep just doing this, going round in circles.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to answer some questions about telling others what we believe. Okay, whatever that is, what we believe, why should we tell others about what we believe? Our first question this afternoon, Ellie, is why do people believe different things? Like, why doesn't everybody believe in the stuff of the Christian faith? Why doesn't everybody believe in Islam or Judaism or atheism? Why do we all believe different things? Can you answer that for us, Ellie?
I certainly can. It's a great question. And really, there's lots of different reasons why people believe different things. Sometimes people have a belief which is from their family. So it's something which they've learnt from their parents or grandparents, and it's a belief that they've been taught through them. Maybe it's because of a historical thing, something which has been around maybe in an area or a country for many years, and it's more of a tradition for that culture to have that belief compared to somewhere else in the world who more traditionally believes in something different. But I would say the ultimate reason why people have different beliefs is because we all have a choice. We are not robots. Christians believe that God, when he made us, gave us free will and the ability to choose. So we're not all programmed to believe one thing, but we do all have that independent choice to believe something different to maybe somebody else.
Great. And I think actually that's a really good thing. As I said a couple of days ago, if we didn't have choice, we would all be robots and we wouldn't have any sort of control, any choice in our lives at all. So it is great that we have that ability to choose. Good. So the next question that we've got here is, what if people don't listen? So if we're telling people about what we believe and they don't believe us, then what? What does that mean? Does that mean we should shun them and never speak to them again? Should we like try and tell them even more and just get really like aggressive with it? Should we argue with them? What should we do? I see you're shaking your head. I'm glad that you think none of those are very good. Actually, Jesus had something which he called the golden rule, and actually lots of different faiths call the golden rule. He said, do unto others as you would have them do to you. So before Jesus came on the scene, actually the common teaching was, don't do to others what you don't want them to do to you. So if you don't want people to be mean to you, don't be mean to them. If you don't want people to bully you, don't bully them. If you don't want people to steal from you, don't steal from them. But actually, Jesus flipped that on his head. And rather than saying or focusing on the don't do, he focused on the do. I realize I've just said do there, but you know what I mean. He said, do to others what you want them to do to you. So if you want someone to be kind to you, then be kind to them first. If you want someone to be to share with you, then share with them first. If you want someone to talk to you, then talk to them first. And so actually, if people don't listen, that's again their choice. But our response shouldn't be one of anger, shouldn't be one of impatience, shouldn't be one of frustration, but actually one of love. That golden rule, treating others as we want to be treated. I often take that word rule, R-U-L-E, and I bacronymized it into R, which is respect, U, which is understand, L, which is love, and E, which is everybody. So respect, understand, love everybody. Even if they don't listen, even if they disagree, we are still called to respect everyone, to try our best to understand everyone, and to love everyone regardless to who they are. So hopefully that encourages you. If you've shared your faith with someone else and they've not listened, then just keep loving them. Don't try and force them to believe, but be there if they have questions to answer those. So that takes us on to our third question, which we'll come back. I think there is a question in the comments. We'll come back to that in a minute. Our third question, Ellie, which is, what if my beliefs change? What if I do listen to somebody else and my beliefs change? What does that mean for somebody? Ellie, could you answer that?
Yeah, well, I would say that's absolutely okay. Like we've already talked about, we aren't robots, and nobody is allowed to force you into believing something if you don't want to. We've talked a lot about that word choice. And actually, the United Nations, who are kind of a big group of many countries who help kind of set out guidelines for humankind, they actually say that for human rights, everyone has the right to choose. has the right to freedom to choose what they want to believe in a religion, to choose to not to believe in something. And they have the freedom as well to change their religion or their beliefs. So it's absolutely okay if you think your beliefs are changing. If you think you believe in something different to maybe how you were brought up or different to what your friends or family believe, that's okay. Because we believe that you should have a choice. And like Matt said at the beginning, it is important to think about these things. Because I know, which I've mentioned before in these assemblies, as a Christian, the choices that I've made to believe in Jesus affect my whole life. They help me in all areas of life, in the way that I speak, the way that I act, the decisions I make. They help me to think about how I am with others. So really, it is important to think about. And if you do think that maybe your beliefs are different or changed, then that's okay. It is your choice and your freedom to believe what you want to believe in.
And nobody, yeah, that's right, Ellie, and nobody really should adversely treat you in a negative way because of what you believe. And in lots of countries, actually, across the world, people don't have the freedom to believe what they want to, and they're forced to believe something, or at least to say that they believe something. But yeah, I don't believe that's right, that should happen. And actually, I've discovered as I've gone through my life that it's more of a journey. Although my beliefs actually have changed as I've gone through life, but I can kind of ascertain an exact point in time where I decided that actually I'm going to believe in Jesus, that Christianity is going to be my thing. And that might not be the same for you. You might call yourself a Christian, but might not have a certain point in which you believe, and that's also okay. Actually, it's not as black and white as a lot of people would say, but it's more of a journey of discovering what it is that is your belief, and exploring and researching what it means to be part of that faith, to be part of that belief as well. And I think that actually takes us really well onto a question that we have had in here from Harriet, who would like to know, how do we know that Christianity is the right religion to follow? It's the right faith to follow. Now, I always describe these things as faith rather than religion, because actually religion is about rules and regulations and rituals. It's about things that you do or don't do. But actually faith is about what we believe. It's something much more, it's much deeper, much more lasting. Some people use those words interchangeably, but I quite often talk about faith rather than religion. And I do that because I believe it's a relationship. And I think the thing that makes Christianity different from all other faiths or religions is this. Most faiths, most religions will talk about getting up to a certain standard, that to be good enough to get into nirvana or heaven or paradise, or to be good, you have to do certain things. You have to reach a certain level. And obviously none of us can get up there because we all make mistakes. You might think that you are like maybe Mother Teresa, you're one of the best people in the world. You might think you're not that great, you're down here somewhere like one of the most horrible people in the world. Actually, most of us would probably put ourselves in the middle somewhere. But actually, for Christians, we believe that Jesus, who was perfect, who was God, came down into our reality, into our world, to show us love and to pay the sacrifice, to pay the penalty for our wrongs, so that we could be lifted up to that level. Whereas every other religion, every other faith says that you have to, in your own merit, in your own ways, reach up to that level yourself. And if you can't get there, then that's it. You don't get in. You're not counted. You're not worthy. Christianity is the only one that says that God came down to our level and made himself like one of us, so that we could be like him and we could be in friendship with him. That's why I think for me, Harriet, Christianity, I think, is the right religion for me, because I know that I couldn't do it myself. I couldn't. I know what I'm like, and I know I always make mistakes. And so that's why I believe it's right for me. But only you can answer why it might be right for you. Do you want to quickly add anything to that, Ellie?
Yeah, I completely agree with what you said, Matt. But I think just to reiterate what I said earlier, no one is allowed to tell you, Harriet, what the right religion is. That's completely your choice to make. But I would say, do some research, try and find out. And maybe that means reading the Bible and finding out what this Christianity and Jesus is all about, or watch our assemblies where we share some of those stories. But then also, a bit like I talked about in yesterday's assembly, really it's a heart decision. If you choose to become a follower of Jesus, then that is something which changes in your heart. And I know for me, that's how I know Christianity feels right, because I've got that belief inside my heart, and it's something which I've made that decision to choose to follow and believe in.
That ties really nicely actually to a question that Teresa's asked, where she says, do you think it's important to find out what is true? And absolutely, Teresa, we would say yes, that what you believe should be based on truth, because if it's not, it will just come tumbling down like a stack of cards. And so you've got to ask yourself, these things that I believe, are they true? I quite often look in the mirror and think, you know what, I'm actually useless at what I do. I try and do magic tricks, but they're not very good. I try and tell jokes and they're not very funny. And whilst that might be true, that doesn't stop me from being loved, actually. I might think, oh, I'm unlovable, or I'm not, a very nice person. But actually, the truth is that God still loves me, and others, like my family and friends who sent me all these birthday cards, they still love me. And so it's super important to find out what's true. And we can know that the Bible has so much truth in it because it is backed up by other histories, by other faiths, historical documents, by world events, and so on. And so again, that's a second reason I would give for saying that that's why I believe that Christianity is the right religion for me, because it is based on so much truth. We're going to stop there because we are almost out of time. But I just want to say thank you to Ellie for joining us this afternoon. So thank you, Ellie. Ellie, do you want to quickly, in 30 seconds, tell us about the very exciting assembly that is coming up tomorrow, please?
Yes, so tomorrow is the third of our craft specials. We are going to be doing some special stones decorated. Here's a couple of examples I've already made. Where's the camera? That way. If you want to take part, your job is very simple. You need to find some stones, give them a little wash. We don't want them in mud, but you'll be ready for our craft special tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
Fantastic. And we've got some exciting news as well about a way that you can interact with those stones through a social media experiment that we're joining in with. It's been going a number of years, so it's nothing new, but it is new for us. So make sure you're watching tomorrow to hear some news about that. For now, Ellie, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you tomorrow.
Bye.
And I'm just going to say a prayer to finish. So if you would like to join in at the end of the prayer, then you can say Amen. Amen just means I agree. And so if you'd like to agree, say Amen. If you don't, say nothing. It will go over your head and you'll be fine. But I would ask you just to take a moment to think about for yourself what it is that you believe. Is it based on truth? Do you know for sure that actually it's something that doesn't depend on you? And is it something that encourages you, that builds you up, that talks about respecting, understanding, and loving everyone and everything around us? Have a think about those few things just while I say a prayer. Dear God, thank you for giving us the ability to communicate with one another, and for our brains, which help us to think about complicated, complex concepts. Help us to be respectful of others, to seek to understand their point of view, as well as explaining ours, and to love them no matter what they believe. May we tell others about the grace and love that you have for all people, through the things that we think, the words that we speak, and the actions that we take. If you would like to agree, then you can say Amen. Now, I just want to give a shout out to a couple more people that are watching online. Hello to Becky, we've already said. Hello to Sarah or Chloe, not sure which one of you is watching. It's nice to see you, Chloe. Thanks for tuning in. And Claire as well, my sister in Bristol. Hello to Claire and family, and thank you for watching too. As we said, tomorrow is our last assembly for this week. And it will be on stones. It's a craft one, so you need to grab some stones, some painting or drawing materials, stuff like that, and join in with the craft that Ellie does tomorrow. That's tomorrow, Friday, 15th of May, and it is at 3 o'clock. For now, stay safe, keep watching, and God bless you. Bye-bye.